I want you to take a look at what I've built so far. This is just a simple table. You all know how to do this. I'm going to put some text in here. Text. Okay, so you'll see it pop up here. So you see the text, and you know that if I were to come in and add a cell spacing equals 0 and cell padding equals 0 and then border equals 1, now you see that outline of the border. Okay, and this is just so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm going to put in a line on here. Align equals center. Now that text is centered. Let me quickly just come in here and put complex page layout. All right, so I want you to see what I'm doing here. I've got this outer table, and you notice I've got my comments here. So I'm going to grab a hold of this outer table, and I'm going to go here to where it says text. And let me do one more thing. I'm going to put a style equals padding 1 rem. Okay, now I've got that space around things. I'm going to copy. So select all. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to come in. I'm going to grab a hold of text. I'm going to paste. Now you're going to notice that the text stays there because I replaced the text with a table. All right. So I want you to see this code structure. I'm going to come in and I'm going to change this one to say inner table. Inner table. I'm going to grab all this code. I'm going to go to free formatter. I'm going to paste it in place. I'm going to format that HTML. I'm going to copy it so that when I go back to CodePen, it's nicely and neatly layered in that kind of pyramid fashion. All right, so you see what's happening here. I have this table here is the inside box. That used to simply be the word text. Okay, I took that word text and I pasted it over with the outer table. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy all this again. I'm going to select text and I'm going to paste it again. All right, look what we got. Now we got boxes inside of boxes inside of boxes, nested tables. Okay, so what are we trying to accomplish with this nested table thing? And that we'll try to do later with nested divs. We are really trying to figure out what nested tables will it look like when I do this. Again, we said we're going to divide this table up into a table here. We're going to do a table, say, here. That table is going to get divided into 2 tables, not in half, but into 2 tables there. And then this is going to be added on. So you see what we're doing is we're looking for where these common breakpoints are. Those common breakpoints in our design are going to be where those table divisions are. Okay, so I'm going to try to code this in front of you, and it'll take time, and it will be there will be mistakes will be made. Okay, so I'm going to consistently take this and go to free formatter. So that's this right here. I'm going to go into free formatter and I'm going to format my code again, paste it in, hit format. Now I'm going to copy. I'm going to come back to CodePen. I'm going to paste it in. So I now have an inner table. So you might want to come up with how am I going to separate these out. One of the things I like to do is keep Sublime open. Okay, if I've got Sublime open, then I can take this code and I can paste it in place, and I can do things where my Command D is permitted, and then give myself more space. All right. Command D allows you to select all sorts of things. Control D on your Windows device, sorry. So now I copy that back, and now I'm going to paste it back in CodePen. Now you see all this extra space. Okay, that helps you identify where things are. Okay, so one thing I know is that I don't necessarily want every table to be 100% width. All right, so let's take this inner set of tables. So I've got right here, see, I've got outer table, inner table, outer table, inner table, inner table, outer table. So I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to replace it with the word text again. You're going to notice it's going to collapse back down to 2 boxes. All right. Well, that tells me, if I look at my code again, or look at my illustration, I've got this right here. All right, I've got an outer table, and then I've got a menu. So to make that right there, I'm going to say menu. Okay, now at least I have a box that says menu. Okay, what do I need next? The next thing I need is I need a box that has this right here, all of this stuff. I'm not going to break down into the tiny pieces yet. Go to the biggest breakpoints. Okay, that big breakpoint there, let's just call this the main body of the page. So I'm going to grab a hold of these two. So I'm going to call this menu. Where it says enter, I'm going to change that to menu. That way I have very clear, identifiable places where this breaks off. Okay, I'm going to grab a hold of that menu table. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to reuse it. All I'm going to do is just come right down here, paste it again, and I'm going to change this menu to say body. All right. Inside of Sublime, I would just use Command D or Control D to select all of these words, menu, and change to body. Okay. All right, so now we got that. Hold on a second. We got this space here, and I want that space here to be bigger. All right, so let's come back in and let's find the padding, and let's add a margin of 0.5 rem. Okay, see if that does what I expect it to do. It's not, so what do I do here? Let's grab this margin, and let's put that margin on the table. Style equals margin 0.5 rem. Ta-da! Okay, now we notice that it's actually starting to push things around out here. Where do I want that half, and why do I want it to be half? Well, if you think about it, if I've got 50% of my margin here coming off of menu and 50% off of body, that's going to be a total of 1, okay? But I don't want it on here, or on here. I want that margin to be effectively 0. So remember our moniker, I'm going to put it here in a comment, or our acronym monikers, wrong word. So remember, we want to use trouble, TRBL. That is top, right, bottom, left, not 0 left. Okay, so when we come in here to margin, we want our top margin to be 0. We want our right margin to be 0. We want the bottom margin to be 0.5, and we want the left margin to be 0. So now it looks correct. All I got to do is take this style, copy it, and go to my body table and place it in spot. And now you're going to notice we've got a little space here, and it doubles, should double. Come on, double. Oh wait, I added it to the bottom. That's right. So remember, we want this to be the top margin now. So TRBL is, we want it to be 0.5000. So now should boop in place. I need to put the sound effect in to say boop. Come on, fill it in. Come on, why is it not working? Okay, why is it not working, folks? I wonder. Okay, how about this? Forget that. We will just say, you know what? We're going to put the full margin up here. One rim between the two. Ta-da, now we've got the space we want. All right. Now we have menu, we have body. All right, so let's take a look back at our illustration again. Right here is menu. Then we added this as body. Guess what? We could just add another menu and just call it footer, and then footer columns is what I'll do. So let's do that. I'm going to come in and I'm going to grab a hold of menu. Okay. Oh, I don't need this right here. So I'm going to grab menu all the way down to this menu, copy. I'm going to go below body, paste, and now I'm going to change these words menu to footer, copy, paste, and paste. But remember that trick we had of having the space? Remember, what we want to do is we want to add that space now to body. So we've got footer. We're going to go on ahead and just leave that there, but we're going to take that style, we're going to add it to the body table like we had before, and this should create that space between. Check it out, we've got our space in between. Now I've got to do one more where I grab hold of footer, and I'm going to add in my last thing, and this is going to be called footer columns. All right, so I do that. Footer calls, and last I put my, so now we see that breakup. Okay, what you're going to receive as an HTML file is nothing. That's right, I'm not going to give you an HTML file. Instead, you're going to build this. You should be able to build every bit of this based on the skills that you've learned so far. All right, if you do this, you will get better at it, I promise. Okay, I know that from experience. So I would like to see at the end of this video, you should be able to build exactly this. You should have outer boxes, you should have inner boxes stacked up. So it's 5 tables. There's an outside table, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 inside tables, all stacked on top of each other, okay? I'd like for you to make sure that you put some, oops, I'm scrolling too much, put in some comments so that you can easily identify where things are and put those labels inside, come on, inside each one so that they show up. When you're done with this exercise, your file should look like this when it loads inside of either your CodePen or if you save it and then load it in the browser. All right, so try this out. If you have trouble, ping me and I'll see if I can help.